COVID, if it taught us anything, it's that some people will just rent sight unseen if you've got your presentation. So we spent a tremendous amount of time on that. Like, you guys do it with homes so well, honestly. So I think so that's another piece. And then beyond that, what happens is most of the time it's employers, it's the prospecting of a particular market, right? And then all the normal stuff. But the drive-by stuff that we used to kind of rely on, that's a lot less than it used to be. And so it's all digital, all online, a lot of it AI, and of course anything to do with all the socials. Of course, they're all important. And I always tell everybody, why wouldn't you do all this stuff? It's free, like literally free, right? So the strategy, it's really changed. Because I started like way back, I'm old, newspapers. Wow. Then it went to the Apartment Guide and For Rent Magazine. Then they digitized, and then it was SEO, then it was website. Now it's ChatGPT, so it just keeps moving. You got to stay relevant. You got to stay ahead of it. And so we're constantly learning. So sorry for saying this, but if you're over 40, you don't know much about marketing anymore, right? It's the truth.
Good to see you guys.
Yeah. So no, it's the truth, right? Like it's really interesting. So like the people I have working on my channel, they're in their 20s. Like your young man here, like, those are the guys that know better, and the young women and men, they're crushing it. They know what's up. So I had to adapt, right? You have to wrap your head around. So things change, and they're changing fast. And so for us, the cool part about it is we can turn on the engine for all that stuff on a particular project. If we have occupancy, let's say it goes from the mid 90s into the high 80s. We know on each week, and then we're like, okay, what do we need to do here? And so we're constantly just spending money, turning the spigot off, turning it on for ads and Facebook ads and all the things that you need to do. But it's a very interesting business. But the lifeblood of everything is just how full are you? Like, you know what I mean? Because when you're full, and that's the other thing. I'll just lead with one more thing. I don't believe that we should maximize rents. Now I know a lot of people.
Why is that?
Well, because it forces vacancy. Yeah. So for that little bit extra, by the way, if you're going to sell a property, different. Yeah. So we have there's several ways that you manage building. The first one is for cash. If you're going to manage something for cash, then what you do is you want high occupancy, and you don't really have to be everyone at market. Because when you start to push everyone to market, which is kind of what everybody thinks they should do, you actually create vacancy, right? Yeah. Because they can go over here, go over there, and rents are, let's say, $2,000 over there, $2,000 over here. If I'm at $1,900, I'm going to get everyone. Yeah. And I'll be at 98%. I'd rather be at 98% at 1,900 than at 2,000 at 89 or 90%. Right. So you just do the math. It just makes complete sense. So there's a science to raising rents, and you got to be really, really careful. Again, going back to the customer. And so when you're getting ready for a refinance or to sell something, very different. Of course, you're pushing rents on one bedrooms. You're actually trying to create vacancy, believe it or not. Wow. So if I'm full on my one bedrooms and full on my two bedrooms, let's say, I'm like, the rent's too low. So I push it, and I'll squeeze out that extra 50, 75, 125 or whatever it is. And then you kind of see where they are. We do all this before we even package a property for a refinance or sell. And so we're pushing the rent roll to the market resistance, creating vacancy, oddly enough. And then if I'm sitting at 92%, I'm actually feeling pretty good about my rent roll. So you while you own it, you want to be 98% and have a lot of cash. But while you're So it's all part of management. You got to be careful because residents will move for $50 or $75.
Yeah. I've seen them move for 25 in today's economy.
Yeah,
they're
you got to be careful,
finicky.
You got to be careful, and you got to covet them. I swear, you got to treat these folks. They're getting whacked with inflation. What's going on right now is horrible, and so everything's more expensive. So the extra little bit is important. I would rather have somebody for 5 or 6 or 7 years and just have a conversation with them and slowly just raise them over time and be under the market personally and have a highly occupied, because again, I'm solving the cash flow. I'm not, why do I care? Honestly, it's a win-win. They get a good deal. I get a good deal. I'm highly cash flowing. It's a win-win. I know it's there. At any time, I can turn the stove up and say, I want to maximize the rents here. But why would I do that? Unless I'm selling or unless I'm refinancing. So there's a time to do that. So it's all part of that strategy, and it's also what you learn in the property management world as you're navigating this, because expenses are not your friend, man. They're going up like crazy, right?
But also turnovers. People are so short-sighted, and they say, "Oh, I'm going to bump $100." You lose that tenant. Now you have 2 months of vacancy. You just lost $4,000 or $4,300 plus utilities plus the turn. Your turns are $4,000 or $5,000 most likely, and then you're paying a management to fee to somebody.
Bingo.
So you just lost $8,000. That's 4 months of rent when you were negotiating over $100 for a 25% differential.
You're spot on. So that's the whole nuance of behind the scenes of property. That's what you get with a good property management company, is that, because to your point, like our rents, let's say our average rent's $2,000. Mm-hmm. That's $83 a day, right? Or something like that, or pretty close.
70.
Right? Or 70, yeah. Let's call it $70 a day. Okay. So really, for one day, what do you want to get, a $75 increase? Or, really? Is that really worth it? It's not, right? So you're better off to renew that tenant, especially now. And there's a time to do it. And right now is not the time. Right now is the time to preserve, take care of your folks, keep the occupancy high, try to manage those expenses as best you can, and maximize your cash flow.
I want to talk a little bit about the macroeconomic environment before we wrap up today. One of the things I love about your YouTube channel that I've been watching since probably 2019 is you have a really good grasp for the macro. And a lot of the things you predicted over the years happen exactly the way you predicted they would unfold. If we wind things back 30 years, the average first-time home buyer was 30 years old. Today, they've dumped so much cash into the system. It's now 42 years old. So the boomers are laughing to the bank.